Well, it looks like today we have a blaster that I can barely fit in frame. I mean, this thing is huge. This is the Overwatch Soldier 76 Rival Blaster, and I've been trying to get my hands on one of these for a bit, but the problem with it is they were so expensive. I want to say they're like 120. I mean, even pushing to 150 with shipping. I mean, it was just too much. I finally found one somewhere, and yeah, it was still over $100. I'm like, no, I can't do it. So yesterday I actually found this at Ross for $50, and I just couldn't pass it up. So here we are. I know it's a little bit late for this blaster. I think it's been out for a bit, but we're gonna go ahead and open it up and see what we got in here. And I got a lot of things to talk about this thing, because as you can probably see, this thing has some issues. But let's go ahead and just get right into the video. And well, first, gotta get this thing out of the box. So real quick, let's talk about what you get with this purchase. So I was fortunate enough to get this, like I said, on sale, pretty cheap. And this thing comes with a lot of stuff. It comes with a mask, which is really good quality. It comes with 30 rival rounds and then the blaster. And of course, you know, a kind of a cool looking instruction manual that's a little bit different than your standard Nerf. So it's kind of like the Overwatch type of instruction manual, which is cool. So right off the bat, I just have to say this thing, for being a replica of a game prop or a cosplay type piece, it's pretty phenomenal. So that is its real intended purpose. So I just want to kind of put that out as a disclaimer as I rip into this thing and kind of talk about how horrible of a design it is and whatnot. I just wanted to put it out there that this does have an intended purpose and it serves that well. So let's go ahead and talk about the things I don't like about this blaster. Number one, it's very unwieldy. I do like large, chunky, unwieldy blasters. The problem with this one though, is that the weight is so far forward, it makes it very hard to manage. And of course, it doesn't help that there is no stock at all, really. I mean, I don't even know how you can shoulder this. If the stock was right about here, and if there was a little bit more weight towards the back, I don't think it'd be as bad. The pistol grip is all right. It's not the best. I actually have noticed I'm getting a little bit of cramp from this piece right here, or just a little soreness on my wrist when this presses up against your arm. If this material was out of here, this portion here, and if we had more of a stock, I don't think it'd be too bad. Also, you'll notice like I have a tendency to hold it right here, and that's because of the center of the weight is right here, so it just helps to hold it there. I guess you could hold it up here, but it just seems like you have a tendency for the blaster to go down. So with all that aside, let's talk about some of the performance issues. Now, I went ahead and took this outside and I wanted to do just kind of a dump, right? This comes with 30 rival rounds. So one thing I thought was kind of interesting was inside this hopper, it can actually hold 40. I put 40 rounds in here and I actually had some room. I could actually squeeze 2. I could get 42 rounds in here. So I'm not sure why they just gave you 30. I think they're really skimping. I mean, if you're gonna pay $120 for a blaster, the least of your worries should be rival rounds. They should just throw in like 60 or something, at least double capacity. So that was kind of weird. So I went ahead and tried to top it off at 42. And I took this outside to the range. I went ahead and did kind of a speed challenge with this because I wanted to see the performance of how fast it could dump its hopper. So let's go ahead and check out that footage. And there is one last thing that I am not too fond of about this blaster, and I kind of touched base on it earlier, and that is the capacity of the hopper. On the box, it would appear that they claim this thing holds 30 rounds. Like I said earlier, I could get 42 in here, so we'll just put it at a 40. But still, 40 rounds for the size of this thing is not good. Fortunately, on Thingiverse, I found some files created by a person's name who I will not even try to pronounce, but I'll go ahead and put a link in the description. They made a hopper for this. So I am currently in the process of printing one out, and hopefully when I do my build guide or my build log, I can show you that hopper. And I think it says it holds up to 150, which is much better. I mean, getting closer to 150, 200 rounds for Rival, for me is a little better. It's a little wiggle room to actually you know, have some fun with the blaster. But 30 rounds, that's nothing. Not cool. So as you can see, this thing fires at kind of a slow rate of about 2 rounds a second, which is pretty low for, you know, something with a hopper like this. I think the Percy's was like way better than that. And a lot of it has to do with the batteries. Now, I actually included some footage of me testing all the batteries to show you that these batteries should be good. So yeah, they aren't brand new out of the package, but they should be good enough. So I don't know what is up with the performance of this thing. I also did some chronograph readings, which I'll show here, and take note of the first few seconds of this where I do a full dump. And you'll see we'll hit 99 FPS, we'll hit kind of high, and then it'll gradually drop down. So I think the lowest number I was getting is like 68. So when you hold this thing and you just start going, you know, you start firing off all the rounds, you'll keep incrementing down until you're just firing a very low FPS. It is worth mentioning that if you hold the rev down for a few seconds and fire, you'll get a consistent 99, 98 FPS. It's getting a lot of those, which is standard for Rival and is good. The thing that is concerning though is with something like this, you should be able to dump your entire hopper pretty quick, you know, if you need to. I mean, essentially it is a Percy's. And let me talk about the one thing that just drives me crazy, and that is a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher, whatever you want to call it. I think of the game, it's a grenade launcher. It's fake. There's nothing there. It even looks like there's a little grenade sticking out, or, you know, I think it's this whole assembly. But still, the whole thing is just fake. It's just such a missed opportunity, in my opinion, by Nerf or Hasbro, that they could easily make this a demolisher launcher, at least a HAMP, at least something. So, what am I gonna do to address these things? Well, I've already grabbed an air compressor. I found one on sale at my local mall. There was a 12-volt car compressor, and the beauty of that is it's 12 volts, so it can run off like, you know, a 3S LiPo. And I'm thinking we can somehow, now the plan is to somehow fit inside this massive shell, that compressor, with some type of tank. I don't know if I can fit a Titan tank in here, but I'm not sure. We need to get inside of this thing and look around and see where we can do it. I might even do a do-it-yourself type tank out of PVC tubing. We'll have to see what I come up with. But for now, I just wanted to get this thing out of the box, get some standard stock readings so that I can get an idea of where this thing sits when it's stocked, which isn't great. This is not a great performer, unfortunately, for its size and weight. And I want to see if I can modify this thing to get it up to be a very awesome blaster. And I can overlook it being extremely large and bulky and heavy because I am a grown man and I don't mind wielding something like this. In fact, I kind of feel like I should be wielding something larger because I'm not a small child. So I'm all for this type of stuff. But what I'm not all for is something that's this large and doesn't perform well. So that's my plan with this. I hope to have that video out in a week or so. We'll see how it goes. And full disclaimer, I could open this thing up and it's just a nightmare to work on and I might have to scrap the whole project. So, but I think I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to make this thing good. So in conclusion, can I recommend this gargantuan blaster? It really comes down to if you were building a cosplay of Soldier 76 and you needed the blaster, I'd say yes. I'd say it is totally worth it because your alternatives are to like 3D print one or, you know, kind of make it from scratch, and that would be a lot of work. So even at $150 or $120, this is still worth it in my opinion for that, because the results you can get from a cosplay for this is outstanding. Now, can I recommend this as a blaster for someone? I would say go with a Percy's. I think even a Nemesis is better than this thing. I think even a Prometheus would be better than this thing. So there's a lot of other options out there that are much better. Now, if you have all those things and you're just crazy about Rival and crazy about collecting Nerf blasters, I'd say, yeah, it's definitely a good blaster to pick up. It's very unique. It looks amazing. It's definitely an eye catcher. But if you're just you know, looking for the biggest bang for your dollar, I'd say stay away from this one. Well, I'm DrFlux. I want to thank you for watching this review of the Nerf Overwatch Rival Soldier 76 blaster. Whew, that's a mouthful. Yeah, just like the blaster, a lot going on. Let me know in the comment section, do you agree with some of my negatives about this thing? Or do you agree with some of the mods I'm looking to do with it? Let me know in the comment section. I will get started on modifying this as soon as possible. I want to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, happy foam flinging.